Once upon a time, in Japan, there was a mountain called Mount Yūrei. But this mountain was not like the others you might have seen. It was cursed, and the stories about it were told in hushed whispers by the people living in the nearby village. Imagine this village nestled at the foot of the mountain, with cozy houses, friendly neighbors, and colorful flowers. But as you got closer to Mount Yūrei, things started to feel strange. The air got colder, and the wind seemed to whisper eerie secrets. It said that even the bravest of villagers dared not go too close to the mountain. The story is like that, long ago, in a luxurious and attractive valley nestled amidst the towering peaks of Mount Yūrei, there thrived a prosperous kingdom known as Yokai no Tani. This kingdom was unique, for its rulers were not kings or queens, but rather two sisters, Princesses Satsuki and Yuki-onna. Satsuki and Yuki-onna were renowned throughout the land for their extraordinary beauty and grace. Born to a line of benevolent rulers, they were beloved by their subjects. Satsuki, the elder sister, possessed a gentle and caring spirit, while Yuki-onna, the younger, was known for her ethereal beauty and calm manner. The kingdom's peace was shattered when an envious fairy, named Fujin, grew jealous of the sisters' radiant beauty and harmonious rule. Fujin, consumed by envy, cast a malevolent curse upon the princesses and their beloved kingdom. As a result of the curse, the entire realm of Yokai no Tani was transformed into the ominous Mount Yūrei, and the princesses were destined to live within its boundaries for eternity. Fujin's curse filled Mount Yūrei with a voracious appetite for the souls of any who dared to enter. The mountain itself became sentient, craving the essence of life to quell its insatiable hunger. Anyone who ventured into the cursed domain met a gruesome end, their life force consumed by the hungry mountain. For centuries, Satsuki and Yuki-onna remained trapped within Mount Yūrei, their kingdom and subjects forever lost to them. They grieved the loss of their once thriving realm and desired for release from the curse that bound them. Though they retained their beauty, it became a bittersweet reminder of the world they could no longer be a part of. Despite their isolation, the sisters occasionally encountered lost souls who ventured into Mount Yūrei. These souls, guided by the sisters' unearthly presence, were spared the mountain's hunger. Satsuki and Yuki-onna would offer comfort and direction, hoping to help these travelers escape the curse. But is that possible to help break the curse? As the years passed, Yokai no Tani faded into legend, remembered only by those who dared to speak of the cursed mountain. The princess's story became intertwined with the kingdom's history, a miserable reminder of the kingdom that once was. Also, the villagers would sit around their fires in the evening, sharing stories of the sisters and the cursed mountain. They said that the sisters never aged and had been living there for centuries. Some folks even claimed that they had powers, like being able to control the weather or summoning spirits. These legends were like a blanket of mystery draped over the mountain, making it even more enchanting and spooky at the same time. So, when the villagers saw strange lights flickering on the mountain or heard ghostly whispers carried by the wind, they couldn't help but think that the sisters were behind it all. As time went on, the people in the village near Mount Yūrei couldn't help but notice something very troubling. More and more villagers were vanishing without a trace when they ventured too close to the cursed mountain. It was like a puzzle with missing pieces, and everyone was trying to figure out what was happening. The villagers counted the names of those who had gone missing, and the list grew longer with each passing month. It wasn't just the number that worried them, it was the fact that no one ever came back from the mountain. It was as if the mountain had a big, hungry mouth that swallowed anyone who dared to enter. But among all these sad stories, there was one that touched everyone's hearts. It was the story of a brother and his sister. The sister, a kind and lively young woman, had decided to explore the mountain one day. She had heard the legends of the sisters living there and was curious to see if they were true. As she ventured further and further up Mount Yūrei, her brother's worry grew like a storm inside him. He couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible was going to happen. Days turned into weeks, and there was no sign of his beloved sister. He couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, and his laughter turned into tears. The villagers tried to comfort him, but he couldn't be consoled. He decided that he needed to find his sister, no matter the cost. He remembered her smile, her laughter, and the way she used to play with him when they were kids. He couldn't bear the thought of her being lost forever on that cursed mountain. With determination in his heart, he made up his mind. He would venture up Mount Yūrei, just like his sister had. He would brave the eerie winds, the chilling whispers, and the ominous shadows to bring her back. And so, he prepared himself for a journey into the unknown, a journey that would lead him to the heart of the mountain's mystery. Now, here's the interesting part. Before setting off on his perilous journey, the brother remembered something important. He had heard stories about Mount Yūrei's malevolent nature from an old man in the village. This wise elder had shared tales of the mountain's hunger for souls and the eerie legends surrounding the sisters who lived there. The old man's words echoed in the brother's mind, like a warning from the past. But instead of scaring him away, they fueled his determination even more. He was ready to face the mountain's curse head-on, armed with his love for his sister and the stories that had been passed down through generations. With his trusty horse by his side and the memories of his sister in his heart, the brother set out on his brave quest. The village watched him go, their hearts filled with hope that he would succeed where others had failed. And so, our hero began his journey up the unfaithful slopes of Mount Yūrei, where the spooky whispers of the wind and the chilling shadows awaited him. The brave brother knew that setting out on a journey to the cursed Mount Yūrei wasn't going to be a walk in the park. He needed to be ready for anything that might come his way, so he spent days preparing himself and his loyal horse for the fateful journey. First, he gathered supplies, a well-made backpack filled with warm clothes, enough food to last him for a while, and a trusty lantern that would light his way in the darkest corners of the mountain. He even brought a map, although he knew that Mount Yūrei's secrets were not likely to be found on any map. His horse, a strong and reliable companion, was also prepared for the adventure. He gave the horse a name, Kaze, which meant wind in their language because he hoped they'd be as fast as the wind in their search for his sister. He made sure Kaze had proper shoes to handle the rocky terrain and packed enough oats and water for the journey ahead. As the day of departure arrived, there was a sense of foreboding in the air. The villagers watched as the brother and Kaze prepared to leave. Some tried to stop him, warning of the mountain's curse and the danger that awaited. But the determination in his eyes told them that nothing could stop him from finding his sister. With a heavy heart and a brave spirit, he mounted Kaze and set out towards Mount Yūrei. The villagers held their breath as they watched them disappear into the distance, their silhouettes slowly becoming smaller and smaller against the backdrop of the eerie mountain. As the journey continued, the brother couldn't help but notice the signs and omens that seemed to be everywhere. Strange birds circled above, their calls echoing like eerie laughter. The wind howled with an otherworldly sound, and the trees seemed to whisper secrets that he couldn't quite decrypt. Despite the ominous signs, the brother pressed on. He knew that his sister was out there somewhere, waiting for him to rescue her from the cursed mountain's clutches. With every step he took, his determination grew stronger, and he braced himself for the challenges that lay ahead on this fateful journey. As the brother ventured deeper into the heart of Mount Yūrei, his heart filled with a mixture of determination and fear. He knew that the mountain held secrets beyond imagination, but he was not prepared for what would happen next. Amidst the eerie silence of the mountain, he suddenly came upon a figure, a woman standing at the edge of a moonlit clearing. Her presence was unexpected, and she seemed to appear out of nowhere. She was unlike anyone he had ever seen, with a long, flowing robe that shimmered like the night sky and hair as dark as the mountain's shadows. The woman turned to him with a calm smile and spoke in a voice as soft as the whispering wind. "You seek your sister, do you not?" Her words were both soothing and mysterious, like a riddle waiting to be solved. She offered to help him find his sister, a glimmer of hope in the darkness of the cursed mountain. Her words were like a lifeline to the brother, a ray of light in the ominous night. But something about her seemed off, like a puzzle piece that didn't quite fit. As he looked into her eyes, he saw a strange shine, a flicker of something hidden beneath the surface. It was as if her intentions were veiled in mystery, and he couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to her than met the eye. The brother's heart was torn. On one hand, he longed to find his sister, and this woman offered him a chance to do just that. But on the other hand, he remembered the legends and stories he had heard from the old man in the village. The warnings about the mountain's malevolence and the possibility of encountering deceitful beings on his journey echoed in his mind. A deep internal struggle took hold of the brother. Should he trust this mysterious woman who promised to help him? Or should he heed the legends and the old man's cautionary tales, which spoke of treacherous traps and dangers lurking in the mountain's depths? With uncertainty troubling his heart, the brother stood at a crossroads, facing a decision that could shape the course of his dangerous quest. As the moon cast creepy shadows upon the cursed mountain, he had to make a choice, one that would determine the fate of his sister and the outcome of his journey into the unknown. After a moment's contemplation, he decided to follow the woman deeper into the mountain, his trust wavering between the legends of the cursed mountain and the desire to reunite with his sister. With every step, the path grew darker and more unfaithful, and the moonlight played tricks on the senses. As the brother and his faithful horse, Kaze, ventured further into the heart of Mount Yūrei, the sense of terror hung heavy in the air. The woman led them along a narrow, winding trail that seemed to twist and turn like a serpent. Strange, ghostly lights flickered in the distance, and the winds carried whispers that sent shivers down the brother's spine. The path ahead was shrouded in mystery, and the brother couldn't help but wonder what lay in wait. Was this woman truly a generous guide, or was there a hidden agenda behind her offer of assistance? The legends of the cursed mountain echoed in his mind, a haunting reminder of the dangers that lurked in every shadow. As the brother and the mysterious woman ventured deeper into Mount Yūrei, the world around them began to change. The path they followed twisted and turned like a winding river, and the air grew colder with each step. The moon's glow became their only source of light in the darkness. As they moved farther from the village and civilization, the surroundings grew increasingly strange and otherworldly. The once familiar sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves were replaced by an unsettling silence, broken only by the occasional hoot of an owl or the distant howling of the wind. The trees, gnarled and twisted, seemed to reach out to them like skeletal fingers, their branches casting spooky, dancing shadows on the ground. The rocks underfoot bore strange markings, as if ancient symbols had been carved into them by unseen hands. The brother's unease grew with every passing moment. He couldn't help but feel that they were walking deeper into a realm untouched by time, a place where the ordinary rules of the world no longer apply. The woman's presence, once a glimmer of hope, now seemed like a puzzle he couldn't quite solve. Though he longed to find his sister, a sense of foreboding washed over him like a cold wave. The legends and stories of the cursed mountain weighed heavily on his mind, and he couldn't shake the feeling that they were entering a world of danger and uncertainty. As the moon hung low in the sky, casting long, spooky shadows, the brother and the woman continued their journey into the heart of the mountain's mystery. The suspense grew with each step, and the brother's unease deepened as he wondered what secrets lay hidden in the shadows of this cursed place. With each passing moment, the boundaries between reality and legend blurred, and the brother's determination to find his sister was met with an ever-growing sense of dread. The deeper they ventured into Mount Yūrei, the more questions loomed, and the more uncertain their path became. As they approached a particularly ominous part of the mountain, the brother's realization hit him like a bolt of lightning. The surroundings grew darker, and a heavy fog descended, obscuring their path. He could barely see a few steps ahead, and a chilling feeling settled in the pit of his stomach. It was then that he understood the true danger he was in. The mountain was a place of secrets, a realm where reality blurred with legend, and the line between friend and foe was thin as a wisp of smoke. The brother knew that he had to be cautious, that his journey to find his sister was far from over, and that the mountain held many more challenges and mysteries yet to be revealed. After some time, the mountain began to reveal its true nature. It was not just a quiet, creepy place, it was a malicious entity, hungry for life and souls. Suddenly, the air grew thick with an ominous energy, and the atmosphere shifted from spooky to downright sinister. The once gentle wind turned into a chilling gale that seemed to whisper malevolent secrets. The shadows deepened, and the very ground they walked on felt as if it had come alive, watching their every move. It was then that the mountain's hunger for life began to manifest itself. Strange, ghostly branches seemed to snake out from the rocky ground, reaching toward the brother and his faithful horse, Kaze. These branches were like ghostly fingers, desire to grasp hold of anything that ventured too close. With a sudden, horrifying realization, the brother understood the danger they were in. The mountain was not just a place of legends and spooky stories, it was a living nightmare, a place where the very ground hungered for the life force of those who dared to step upon it. The brother's heart pounded in his chest as he desperately tried to steer Kaze away from the sinister branches that threatened to entangle them. He urged his loyal companion to flee, to escape the mountain's clutches. But it was as if the mountain itself had come alive, its hunger insatiable and relentless. No matter how hard he tried, the brother couldn't break free from the mountain's grasp. The branches grew stronger, wrapping around them like ghostly chains. The brother's frantic attempts to protect Kaze and himself proved unsuccessful against the mountain's malevolent power. As the branches tightened their grip, the brother's desperation grew. He could feel the life force being slowly drained from him as if the very essence of his being was being devoured by the mountain's hunger. His breaths became shallow, and his heart pounded with fear and despair. Kaze, his faithful companion, whinnied in distress, struggling against the ethereal chains that held them. The horse's eyes, once filled with trust and loyalty, now reflected the same terror that consumed the brother's heart. The horror of their situation became painfully clear. They were trapped in a relentless nightmare, where the very ground they stood upon sought to devour them. The mountain's malevolent hunger was like a predator, slowly and mercilessly consuming them, leaving them with no escape. As the final moments approached, the brother's thoughts raced with regrets. He wished he had regarded the warnings of the legends and the old man in the village. He wished he had trusted his instincts and not followed the mysterious woman into this cursed place. Most of all, he wished he could have protected Kaze from this gruesome fate. In the midst of their despair, the brother and his horse shared a final, heart-wrenching moment of connection. Their eyes met, filled with love and regret, and in that fleeting instant, they understood the gravity of their difficulty. And then, as the branches from the mountain's depths tightened their grip, the brother and Kaze were consumed by the cursed mountain. Their screams of terror were swallowed by the eerie silence of Mount Yūrei, their lives extinguished by the insatiable hunger of the malevolent entity. It seems that the curse of the mountain will never end. It will always be hungry for souls. Thanks for joining us on this eerie journey through the Cursed Mountain on Phantom Tales. If you've enjoyed this spine-tingling tale of mystery and suspense, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your fellow thrill seekers. If you want to stay updated with more supernatural stories, urban legends, and spine-chilling mysteries, be sure to subscribe to Phantom Tales and ring that notification bell so you never miss a haunting episode. We love hearing from our audience, so feel free to leave your thoughts, theories, and suggestions in the comments below. What other tales of the unexplained would you like us to explore next? Until next time, remember to keep an eye out for the shadows and always trust your instincts in the world of the unknown. Thanks for being part of the Phantom Tales community, and may your nights be filled with intriguing mysteries.